There you go. You should have all got recording in progress. We're away. So metabolic vitality
week number
two,
two.
content number 2. So yeah, here we go. So some cool things going on this evening. We got one of these things to give away. So we'll see how that goes. Good luck to you all on that. And we've got some updates on those smelly bottles. I don't know if anyone was here when we were doing a wrap on the smelly bottles. We got an update on those. We got some exercise session. Sarah's going to go through exercising with MD so that you can all get your, what do they call it, active wear on and get out there and get exercising. And we just want to cover the themes that we talked through on a few cards tonight. How's sleep? Has anyone got any questions around that? How's everyone going? And also meal prepping. They were a couple of the things that we hit this week, and a few other bits and pieces, and of course Q&A. So I guess we'll get started on a report on the smelly bottles from you.
Yeah. So the last session that we had, I said that I was trialing this water bottle, and the water bottle has a scent ring on the top of it. And report is that it caused absolute havoc with my insulin levels. I was absolutely starving, and I was really, really cranky and searching for foods that I would never normally search for. Scott that made me cranky. Made sense to me when I really thought about it, that our smell and our taste are so interconnected. I did not realize how much of an insulin spike I was likely to be getting, but I could probably get maybe an hour, possibly 2 hours after eating, where I was absolutely ravenous and just had to go and eat something. And since I started my metabolic balance journey nearly 5 years ago, I have never had that happen. So report is great water bottle for size, great concept. Was hoping that it would help a little, but certainly not what I was hoping for. I am going to do another test with it. I am going to do a test. So I'm going to have a bit of a play with it. I'm going to take my blood sugar levels prior to drinking from it. I am then going to drink from it and actually going to test my blood sugar levels again, just to see kind of what that spike is. And then I'm also going to have a trial with it, using it around meal times, and see what happens with that. So if I get cranky, apologies Sarah at work.
What about me?
Apologies Scott, but he probably deserves it. But yeah, I will report next week. I'm also considering getting a continuous glucose monitor and wearing that through the trial, just to actually see, so I haven't actually got to keep pricking my finger and that kind of thing. But I will update next week.
Yeah, and Micah, we have someone here who's just sort of finished up the tail end of uni. She actually found a few research papers that did prove that absolutely smell is connected and will cause glucose spikes in the body. So,
and there was a really interesting part in it that actually did then talk about if you were, and I haven't fully read the paper, if you're constantly exposed to that smell, your body will actually then become immune to those spikes, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'll have a good read of the paper. It seemed like a really easy read, so I'll put a link to it in the chat if anyone else is interested as well.
So there you go. So far, the jury's out on the smelly bottles. So we thought they were going to be a really cool thing. I'm glad we didn't buy 100. So yeah, otherwise, yeah, we would have been telling them. So, and just to give you another demo, because I want to actually eat it, I'm having mango sorbet at the moment, which is just mango and water. And it is absolutely fascinating. Linda, I agree. My mango sorbet, that is. No, you mean the water bottle. I get it. So I'm showing you this because I'm going to be eating this. So I hope you don't mind, because I'm finishing my dessert. And now over to Sarah. Sarah's going to be talking about sport and metabolic balance. Exercise, not sport. Yeah, well, exercise. Yeah, and sport, I suppose. So over to you, Sarah.
Amazing. Thank you. So I think whoever was doing fats and oils will probably be, I'm sorry, the detox and restricting fats and oils will probably be adding them in this week, I think, would it be?
Pretty close. We started
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Saturday again, did we? Or
Yeah.
Friday?
So yeah, this will be perfect, you know, coming back into your exercise if you're adding, when you're adding your fats and oils again. So essentially exercise. So now when you start exercise, you may notice you might want to be aware of portion sizes. So exercise can definitely increase that hunger. So you may find you may need to increase your portion sizes. Some people find that 10-gram increase is enough. Some people may need to increase it 15. We can even go up to 20. If you are finding that you are struggling when you do start to exercise again, like reaching that 5-hour mark, just message myself or Karen and we can help you navigate portion sizes around for you. Now, again, with the timing of your exercise and your meal timing. So ideally, if you can time your meal around your exercise. So if you're training in the morning and then you have your breakfast after, then that's perfect. Or if you're having your breakfast and then going and exercising, then that's perfect as well. Sometimes it may not work out like that with your schedule, you know, busy schedule, things like that. So we can also add in some other, like another meal or a little snack as well if we need to. If you're just finding that you're not having enough fuel, you're not having enough energy to exercise, we definitely want to make sure we're keeping that up and we don't want to be under eating as well. Definitely as we're exercising, we're using more fuel, so we need to be replacing that as well. Now with exercise, now just probably call it more so movement. I'm not saying you have to go out and do like a strenuous gym like workout routine or go for like a 10K run. My main recommendation would be find something that you enjoy. So make exercise enjoyable. So if lifting weights is not for you, don't go joining a gym. You might find Pilates really good, yoga, walking, anything like that. So main thing is find something that you enjoy, really. And again, exercise doesn't have to be strenuous, like slogging yourself in the gym, that kind of thing. Just as long as you're getting in some sort of movement is what we recommend. Especially if you are sitting down all day, you've got a desk job, pretty sedentary during the day, getting that movement is going to really be beneficial as well.
So Sarah, would I keep myself in the fat burnings? So, you know, if it's about weight loss, if I'm trying to achieve that, am I better off keeping myself in a fat burning zone than going hardcore and, you know, getting the heart rate through the roof and, or, you know, pressing weights or whatever?
Yeah, so yeah, definitely that 5-hour break, and we have sort of trained the body to get into that fat burning zone. So you might find that you might not need any extra fuel if your body is still in that kind of fat burning mode. And you could definitely still make it through like a strenuous run or something like that.
Oh, no, my question was more, you know how you got fat burning zone for
Yeah.
exercise on my watch?
Oh, yes, yes,
Am I
yes.
better off exercising to remain in that fat burning zone or go a little bit more hardcore, or just what's your view on that?
Yeah, so definitely if you're like that moderate to high intensity kind of exercise can increase your insulin sensitivity. So our body responding to that insulin the way it should and getting that and glucose uptaking into our cells the way that it should. If we are getting that heart rate quite high, that definitely has those benefits. Definitely.
Okay, cool.
And again, yeah, so exercise definitely helps with the weight loss. Also, you know, prevention of diseases, cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, things like that. And it's also really good for mental health as well. So getting in some movement, really, really good for that mental stimulation, just going for a walk, things like that, and just gets things moving. Again, if you're wanting to use exercise as a way of changing body composition and toning and things like that, then can definitely be done. You're looking more of like your weights, resistant training, things like that. And that's when you may find you may need some more food, particularly like protein and things like that. So if you do find that you're wanting to start something a bit more strenuous and you find that the food just really isn't enough, have a chat to us and we can alter your plan around. You definitely don't have to stick to just the portions on your plan. We can incorporate an additional snack or additional meal as well to help compensate and fuel up. So just sort of listening to your body. So on the days that you do exercise, if you're feeling like you're actually absolutely starving, then start to increase your portion sizes. Yeah, that would be my main thing, just sort of, yeah.
And what about electrolytes and sweat loss and heat and that kind of thing?
Yes, definitely. So yeah, still summer, still really hot out there. Exercising, we're obviously losing more sweat. So really, really important to be replacing those electrolytes. We have a product in clinic. Some of you may be taking it already called Bassica, which we would recommend as an electrolyte. Really important to be replacing those if we are losing a lot of sweat to keep us hydrated as well.
Cool.
Very, very cool. I have Bassica, I think.
That's what Sarah was saying, Bassica.
Oh, Bassica, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I was just replying to Belinda. Looks, she should come back and said she's just had a crown, well, she was 2 hours in the chair. So apologies for that. Cool. If just out of for general knowledge for me, you ladies, if you are prescribing more food for someone who's exercising, what does that look like? Is it like a larger dinner, lunch portion for when you're exercising, or can it be totally varied? I assume you're still sticking to 3 meals, I assume.
Yeah, so still sticking to your portion sizes. So just increasing, so anything with a number in front of it. So your protein and your veggies and salad, just increasing those 2 numbers.
And I understand you do it in proportion, right? So you don't go like, I don't know, if you're on 140 meat, you don't go like, oh yeah, I'll get the protein gains and I'll keep my veggie the same. It's balanced.
Yeah,
really important. Yeah, still keep that balance is really important. Yeah, so whatever you add to your protein, make sure you're adding it to your veggies and your salad as well. Yeah.
Cool.
and I think
What's the reason for that? Just me being unknowing?
it's the way your body processes both carbohydrates and fats. From the analysis that we did initially, which looked at the pancreas, the way the body can process different things, that's how that portion was established. So some people will have an equal portion of protein and carbohydrates. So it'll be 150, 150. I had that on my original plan. My plan now, I actually have less protein and more carbohydrates. So it just really depends on what your body's requirement is. But because we have those particular ratios, we want to keep everything in balance with those ratios. The other thing that's probably worth sort of saying is that some people find they don't need to change anything. And especially I tend to find that, I don't know whether you've noticed it, Sarah, with the exercise in the morning, most people are okay exercising in that fasted state. Then they replenish afterwards and their meal portions seem to be enough. Another thing to also look at with that though is that you might feel you're going through okay, but if weight loss is a goal and weight loss stagnates once you add exercise in, it literally can be the fact that your body's not got enough fuel. So therefore, at that point, even though you might not necessarily be feeling hungry, we might then consider adding in more food to make sure that the body's got enough to keep those processes going to allow your body to lose the weight.
So just to confirm, if you're trying to lose weight and you may stop losing weight, obviously it's case by case, but you're saying you would actually have more food.
Yep, potentially.
Because what's your body going into some sort of fat storage overdrive mode or something?
Yeah, so it's going into that hibernation state. So there's not enough fuel to support those metabolic processes. So it's actually holding on to reserves because it's not sure when it's going to get that next meal.
Okay.
So probably contrary to everything we've always thought, that the energy in, energy out theory isn't actually the case. It's a case of getting enough fuel in and the right fuel to get the body working.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very cool. All right, well, thanks, Sarah. That's awesome. I don't know if anyone's getting out there and exercising at the moment.
Linda is.
Linda is. That's right. What? So, Linda, where did you just do? Where'd you come back from?
Oh, I just did a session with a PT.
Oh, did you?
Yes, just very conscious of aging and not doing anything weight bearing. So trying to counter that.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. Now, I've just been doing the walking piece. I'm experimenting with just keeping in that fat burning zone myself without going crazy on the exercise just for a week or two. I just want to see what happens there. So good on you though for smashing the PTs. Anyone else doing any new exercisery stuff? I'm not sure if Katrina or Emily, if you guys are hitting the gym or.
Yeah, I go to the gym and just do weights a couple of times a week.
And how you finding with those sessions? How's the hunger?
Yeah, I do notice that I feel possibly a little bit more hungry on those days, but I generally exercise in the morning as well, and then I come back and have my breakfast. So, but I can push through to the next meal. But sometimes I notice I am possibly a little bit more hungry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and what I would say is with that, just definitely listen to those body signals, and if you notice you need a little bit more or you just want a little bit of extra advice, then let us know.
Sure. Okay.
Cool. So thanks, Sarah, for that. That was really cool. Want to just touch on a couple of the themes that we had cards on this week. A lot of it was driven through questions and comments through the weeks. One of them was the sleep card. And basically, I don't know if you can recall, we basically did a 3-card series, and it was really, there was a few tips in there about prepping your bedroom to ensure that you're ready for sleep, doing a nighttime routine, so coming down before bedtime, and also there was some foods in there. So I must admit, my sleeping's not on my I'm not on my game. I'm usually pretty good. I usually get sort of 7.5 pretty solidly. So I'm sure that there's no doubt a little bit of work-related stress going on because I'm working with Karen. No, not really. So just joking about that. But I think that my nighttime routine, I want to work on that. So I'm going to start to do a bit of a wind down. We don't watch a lot of TV or any TV in the evening. I'm not sure. Is anyone else on the call here care to contribute on their nighttime routine that might give a little bit of insight for people as to what they're doing? Because I think that I'm not sure, or even if you want to comment on anything that you might have done based on the cards, if anyone wants to have a little jump in.
I downloaded the meditation app. I can't remember what it's called now.
Insight Timer.
Yeah, that's right. Because I have no trouble falling asleep, but I wake up during the night, which I think is probably largely hormonal related, perimenopausal related. But anyway, I used that the other night actually, and it was great. I fell back asleep. I used one of their.
The really cool thing about Insight Timer, so there's Calm and there's Headspace. There's a couple of pretty good apps. The cool thing about, and I don't have shares in Insight Timer, but I've been using it for a long time. The amount of free meditations and courses and things like that is just remarkable. Often I use just the normal timer. Literally, it's like a chime when it starts, and if I set my time duration for 10 minutes as well. That said, I do like the coached, especially when it comes to sleeping, some sleeping routines. There's some real crackers out as well. So I'm glad you're liking Insight Timer. Has anyone else done any sleeping? I think Jane also said that she used the app. She woke
up and used the app.
She put and I find that, I don't know what earphones you've got. I've tried it with my overhead Bose. It doesn't quite work because when you do fall asleep and you roll over, it wakes you up because you get just about strangled. So the AirPods are the go, everyone. Don't go and try that with your over-ear headphones on, unless
and there's also a speaker out that's we've actually got one in our spare room, but it's it actually goes underneath your pillow. And you can turn it on, and it does actually isolate to just your pillow. So if you don't want to actually lie down with headphones, I'll be honest, I bought it when my mother was visiting because she likes watching TV at night. So I thought it'd be good for her. I bought a cheap version. I would probably recommend not necessarily the cheap version. The sound quality was more of a cheap version quality. But I'll also put that in the chat as well, the ones that I saw, because I know myself, like I have the over the head Apple ones, which are absolutely huge. And then I've got the little Apple earbuds, but if I move, they fall out of my ears. So I actually find that's quite good.
Very cool. And then we also talk about meal prepping. This is not doomsday prepping. This is prepping your meals for making sure that you can make healthy choices.
Yeah, definitely.
When meal
probably good to say as well. So that message came from Tiara about meal prepping, and she did, as she put in the chat, was in hospital today having her heart surgery. So when she's up to it, when she listens to this, we're all sending her lots of positive healing vibes.
Yep, absolutely.
For that.
Good luck with that. Yep, and but yeah, we're meal preppers.
Yes.
Pretty much how we meal prep is on a Sunday. I typically cook 2 meals, although we've kind of, when we get into a more stricter phase of MB, so I have a curry, that Tina's gorgeous curry, or gorgeous Tina's curry. That was actually a typo when I created that recipe card, because Tina gave us the card. It was meant to be Tina's gorgeous chicken curry recipe, and I got it mixed up and
gorgeous Tina.
And I've since met Tina, and she is gorgeous. So it all works out okay. But the roadie goes really well. The rye roadie, obviously, if you got the flatbread. That's really, really cool. We meal prep that when we're just on our maintenance phases. So I'll cook a big batch of that, and that's definitely a go-to for either a quick get out of jail free for dinner if we don't feel like cooking, or for, because it's like a takeaway curry. Like it's really the quality of a takeaway curry. So that with some roti is pretty cool. We use cauliflower rice on that. And then the other one is we always do pretty much almost double portion size for the night before's meal. So I always have lunch next day. Tip there though is I'm a grazer. That's bad news for me. So usually I've got to get it in those lunch boxes straight away, or those containers, or else then that's my weakness.
Yeah. We also do a roast as well. So that's another of our meal prepping. We will actually cook a roast on a weekend.
Quite a sizable one.
Get like a reasonably large one, more than we know that we will actually use. And then we'll do lots of veg, and then we'll portion that up for the week as well. So we find that a lot of the time we're actually only thinking about 2 meals in a day at breakfast, which is pretty standard. We have that. And then we meal plan for the night meal, double portion, so that we have leftovers the next day.
Yeah, and we know that it's our size. We measure up for lunch, and so we can just take it with us and to work or whatever. So that's usually us. Sarah, do you meal prep much at all, or anything?
I don't. On and off. I mean, I should. It definitely makes it so much easier, and I definitely can tell the difference on the weeks where you don't plan out your meals or you don't pre-prep stuff. You kind of get to, like Thursday, Friday, and you're running out of stuff, and you kind of just have to either go back to the shops or do with what you have. So it definitely, you can notice a massive difference when you don't do it. Yeah.
Right. I don't know, like being on MB, especially when you're on it fairly strictly, I don't know about anyone else, but come whatever your shopping day is, it's almost like come the day before your shopping day, it is literally like cobwebs in the cupboard.
It is.
So, I don't know if anyone else experiences that, but yeah. So if anyone else, sorry, Sarah.
Oh, sorry, I'm just saying good thing, because there's less, like there's no waste.
Oh yeah, there's
it is on that day. It's not so good.
Does anyone else meal prep? Andrea, do you do any meal prepping in your world?
I did last night, and then left it on the bench this morning when I went to work. I did my lunch last night. Unfortunately, my husband works in the city, and he delivered it to me, so that was very pleasant. So I tend to do a bit like Sarah. I like the idea. I would love to do it better, but I tend to get a bit slack. So
yeah, it's one of those things though. I mean, at the end of the day too, not that we necessarily meal prep, but we always have a handy protein in the fridge, like sliced ham, if we both have ham on our plans, or whatever the go-to meal is. Always get eggs, and then it's just super easy go-to meal rather than prepping. But certainly it does help. We certainly don't have well, apart from mango, we buy mango by the tray at the markets when it's in season, and pretty much every morning we have a mango smoothie. And so we will get all that, slice it up, put it in the freezer. So that's probably the most meal prep thing we do. That, yeah, we certainly don't have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday meals all that. Wow, that would be just, yeah, that'd be huge effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Mingle spices. Sweetie.
Yeah.
So we're going to just talk about how to spice up your lives.
Yeah. So I always have recommended people avoid spice blends. And the main reason is that a lot of the spice blends that you can buy in the supermarket contain additives, they contain fillers, lots of other bits and pieces that you just can't control what's actually in them. So I've sort of recommended buying individual spices, making your own blends. But I'm actually a big fan at the moment of the Mingle spice blend. So there's many different flavors. This one is a use me on anything or everything. There's a Mexican fiesta taco. I've got garlic and herb, dill and garlic, and a ciao bella Italian mix. And they are literally, so even in the Mexican fiesta, it is only paprika, garlic, cumin, onion, black pepper, pink Himalayan salt, chili, and parsley. We've been using a few of them and been really happy with the taste. I've actually started stocking them in the clinic as well. So I'm pretty certain they're readily available in the supermarket. Like, I must admit, I haven't looked for them in the supermarket. But yeah. They're my recommendation for a little bit of extra flavor in foods.
Without any
nasties in them.
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody else used them at all?
I actually was looking for them in Woolworths the other day, the spice blends, but I could only find the actual sauce ones. So that's good to know that you stock them. I'll be in touch.
I'll take a photo of the ones that I think they're all the ones I've got. So I'll take a photo of them all and put them up, and they're sitting there readily available. So
great. Thank you.
Now, Jane asked a question over the app about olive oil, flax, and heating, not heating. What can she do? She said a lot of recipes have olive oil, and she doesn't have olive oil on her plan.
Yep.
And so she knows that she can't heat flax. Tell us about heating flax and flaxseed oil and why. What's up with that?
Yep. So there's certain oils that we can heat. There's certain oils that we can't heat. If we heat certain oils like flaxseed oil, it changes the chemical construction of them, and they actually become either carcinogenic, rancid, just not suitable for them eating. And flax is one of those. Although it's a great oil, it is highly affected by any kind of heat that it comes in with, which is why we say when you have it, store it in the fridge.
So how much heat are we talking?
I mean, you wouldn't want to actually heat it up in a pan. Like room temp, like you wouldn't want to leave it sitting out on the kitchen bench. You'd probably want it in the fridge, because it's more over time that it will actually start to oxidize and change that chemical structure. So the recommendation, and you'll notice with flax, if you buy it, it will always be in an amber bottle as well, because it's also can be quite light sensitive as well. So storage of it is fine. Then when you use it, it is absolutely fine. You just don't want it sitting there in the sunlight or on the kitchen bench in too much temperature for a while. The other thing with flax, I had someone come in the other day and they went, oh my gosh, I can't have flax. It is the worst tasting oil I have ever had. I think it was rancid. I think that's what had happened. They bought it from the supermarket. I think it had been sitting, because when they actually bought some from the clinic, so said, please give it a go again. They bought it from the clinic, really they tasted it, and they actually said it was actually really lovely. So number one tip with any oil, if you taste it and it really tastes awful, chances are that somewhere along the line it has gone off. So just get rid of it.
Right. And then on Jane's question with olive oil. He doesn't. And on flax seed oil, even if you don't have it on your plan,
You can use it.
everyone can have flaxseed oil, right?
Yep. So flaxseed oil is available to absolutely everybody. Olive oil, I would say, is only on maybe, I'm going to say at the most about 20% of plans that I see that specifically call out olive oil. I don't think I've actually seen any plans that don't contain ghee. So for cooking, you can always, if it says olive oil and you're cooking with it, you can always go to ghee. So you can substitute your oils there. I do have a little bit more flexibility with oil. So if you're in control of it, use the oils that are on your plan. But every now and again, if you use a little bit of olive oil, if you're going out, that you can't control what oils people are using when you go out, even if you're going to friends' places, as long as it is a good quality olive oil, I'm okay for you to use it. Olive oil is one of these funny oils. It has literally changed in the last few years. We went from being able to cook with it, then not being able to cook with it because they said that, again, like flax, it was highly susceptible to those heat changes. They've now changed their opinion and are actually now saying that you can cook with it again. So there's still a few people out there that are going, I won't cook with it, I'll just use it for salads. And then other people, I have not had any issues when I have cooked with it. It is usually, Scott does actually have it on his plan. I don't have it on mine. Our primary oil is usually for cooking ghee. If we do run out of ghee, and that happens quite frequently, then we will resort to olive oil.
Yeah, I like the olive oil with some salt crystals on rye bread.
Yep.
Just a bit of olive oil, salt crystals. It's nice if we're having a cheese platter and yeah, trying to not mix too many proteins. So that's always a good go-to. Very cool. So that was Jane's question. Hopefully, James, we nailed that for you. If not,
and one thing I probably would say, so just jumping back to probably the start of the conversation when we talked about exercise, if anyone is in that phase where they're not using fats and oils and they do introduce exercise early, please introduce the fats and oils at that stage as well, because your body will require the energy from those oils when you're exercising.
Okay. Very cool. Right. So we're going to ask if anyone's got any general questions and to answer. If anyone has and wants to unmute their mic and throw anything out there.
Nothing.
I love this crowd. The cards are obviously doing their job. Now we're going to try some. We're going. Oh, sorry. Is that? Oh, that was a giggle. I hope.
No, it was Emily. I just actually had a question.
Oh. Yeah, shoot, Emily.
Just regarding, do you have any recommendations around collagen powder and whether that is any specific powder that you'd recommend, one that doesn't have any nasties or would sort of have any negative impact, I should say?
Yeah, definitely. So in clinic we stock, it is a practitioner collagen. It's a Designs for Health whole body collagen. That's usually my recommendation. I'm going to be honest, I haven't been to a health food store or anything recently to see the different types, but what you're looking for with collagen, so you can get a marine collagen or you can get a bovine collagen. The bovine collagen is the better of the two. Then you're looking for a grass-fed, and then you're probably looking for a collagen based on where the animal is from. So a lot of the collagens could be Asian, could be Indian, things like that. Like the quality of their animals is not quite the same. They're not always grass-fed. You're not sure if they've been grain-fed, that kind of thing. So it's really comes down to the actual quality of that collagen. A hydrolyzed collagen as well, that's what you'd be going for. If you put a really good quality hydrolyzed collagen in a glass of water and you stir that glass of water, it will go cloudy to start with, and then it should clear and it shouldn't have any taste.
Right, okay.
If it doesn't go clear or you find that there's a real taste to it, then it's probably not as pure as it needs to be. With the collagen that we always have it in stock, and if you can't get in, if it's something you want, let us know, because we can always do your prescription for it as well, and you can just order it from home.
Okay, great. And how do you use that one? Do you just add it to water, or do you add it to meals, or how do you use it?
So I go through different phases. Sometimes I'll just put it in my water in the morning. I will sometimes add it to a coffee. Collagen is one of those things that can be heated. Sometimes I will put it into my smoothie. I've never actually put it in food. I know people that have put it in their food or sprinkled it around. Hydrolyzed collagen became very popular with the bulletproof coffees, if you've heard of those.
If people haven't,
and if you haven't, a bulletproof coffee is a shot of coffee. It traditionally was MCT oil, which is the same as a coconut oil, a grass-fed ghee. Some people use butter, and then a hydrolyzed collagen. And you actually blend it up, and it actually gets really creamy, and it actually tastes like a really creamy coffee. Some people, if they have an issue with processing fats, can sometimes find the amount of fat that goes into it a little bit too much, and you will get a little bit of an upset tummy. It's actually really tasty. It came from a gentleman called David Asprey. I think his recipe is online. He used it for the benefits of the good oils. It was also very much in the paleo kind of era as well.
Is it? So it must be MB then.
Yeah,
you use
absolutely.
it. All right. Well, we'll put a card up in the feed, and for those who want to be daring enough to go bulletproof, and then you can put your collagen in there if you're doubly you know, you try the real deal, I guess.
Thanks for that. Thank you.
No worries. Any other questions that you've got on your minds? And if not, we're getting close to wrap up time, but feel free to chat them out. No, we're all looking good at the end there. Okay, so through the moderns, Karen telling me, but here's the technology masterpiece that I've been working on. Not really. So you should be able to see my screen, and you should be able to see ChatGPT, basically. I don't know if any of you have used ChatGPT. So because we're doing AI meal planners, and we use AI all the time here, we've taken the liberty of giving you all Disney character names. And what's going to happen this week is I'm going to reveal everyone's weight loss if you've been tracking weight and other measures, except you'll be a Disney character and no one will know. So so basically it's okay. We would never put people's measures out normally, but it's interesting to see everyone graphed together, and just to understand people's journeys and those sorts of things. Not everyone's doing weights, so then we might do steps, and we do lots of different things. So we have a bit of fun with that. So watch out for that. We'll be doing some just some stats on how the group's going since MV started. It is kind of interesting. One of the stats that we do is called a happiness index. So I run a sentiment analysis across the community chat, and then it tells me how happy people are. So I can actually rate this gang as to how happy we all are, which I'm sure you'll all be just stoked. So anywho, so as you can see, I've got here, I'm asking ChatGPT to please choose a character from the list below, and this is going to determine who wins the Spark water bowl. So ChatGPT has broken. Let me do that again. Here it goes. And Elsa from Frozen, and then I'm looking up the list, and that would be Melinda Thorpe. Melinda Thorpe has won the prize. I don't think Melinda's on the line today.
No,
she did apologize. She came back here and apologized. So Melinda wins the Hydrate Spark water bottle. We're going to have to get a full rundown from her. And yeah, hopefully well done, Melinda, and enjoy. And guys, that is bang on 7:15. So thank you for everyone who came. Thank you for everyone who also apologized. Everyone that was, so, you know, and I hope that, yeah, everyone's sort of into metabolic vitality. You're feeling better. If not, reach out. You can go one-on-one in the chat, of course. There's lots of questions through there. Otherwise, the community's there to help everyone out. Sarah, rock and roll on that exercise piece. Thanks very much.
Thank you
for that. Thanks for your question, team. And until next week, everyone have a fantastic, well, past hump day now, right?
Yep.
So, yep. It's the run to the weekend, everyone. So yeah, enjoy and see you all later.
Thank you.
guys.
Bye bye.